Hi, in this video I am going to show you how to install MayaStar 7.1 for Maya 2014 through 2020. Okay, so the first part of this video I am just going to show how to install it as if you're installing MayaStar for the very first time. After that I will go over to what you need to do to update from an older version of MayaStar to 7.1. Okay, it's pretty easy if you're installing it for the very first time. All you have to do is click Next and then accept it. You can read the agreement and click Next. Then what you want to do is going to ask you for the product key. Now the product key is in the zip folder that you downloaded where you got the setup file from. There will be a TXT file in that zip folder. Just open it up in Notepad or WordPad and then just highlight the whole key, including the dashes between the letters and numbers, and just copy it, and then you can just paste it right there and click Next. Now this is a warning. This is for those who have an older version of MayaStar already installed on their computer. For 2014 through 2020. If you're using any of those years of Maya with an older version of MayaStar, this is just instructions for what you want to do, but I'm going to go over this later in the video of what you need to do. Okay, but if this is your first time installing, you can just ignore this page and click Next. Okay, now you need to navigate to the version of Maya that you're installing MayaStar 1.0 on. Okay, oh no, 7.1, I'm sorry, 7.1 on. So you're going to click the Browse button. Okay, now I'm just in the traditional place, user, username, documents, Maya. Okay, there's also Drive 1. Where is it? So if you're using Drive 1, you'll have to navigate to Drive 1. There it is. You'd have to navigate to Drive 1, then to your documents, and then to your Maya, and then to the version. Now this is for 2014 through 2020. I don't have Maya 2020 installed on Drive 1, so that's why it's not showing up there. And so I'm going to come back to here. So this is the Maya for username, documents, Maya. Okay, so you got to go there, and then you got to find the year. You got to find the year because it's telling you that you need to find the year version. So it's 2020. So there's 2020. And you just click OK. You don't have to go to the scripts folder. You used to have to go to the scripts folder. Now you're not. You're just going to the year. And then once you've got to there, so you'll have to run this installer for every version. So say you have Maya 2014 and Maya 2020, and you want MayaStar 7.1 on both those versions, you'll have to run the installer twice. First time pick one of the two versions. I'm installing 2020 here. You just have to install it twice, picking the correct year for each one. And you saw I just clicked Next, and clicked Finish. So that's it. That's all you have to do. If you had Maya open when you installed it, shut Maya down and restart it, and the MayaStar menu should appear at the top of your menu. So if you're installing MayaStar for the first time, that's all you have to do. You're done. You can stop watching this video now if you want to, and you're good to go. If you're updating from an older version of MayaStar, it's a bit more complicated than in the past. So you're going to want to watch the rest of this video, and even if you're a first-time MayaStar installer, there's some good information on here, such as where is MayaStar actually installed, and all that kind of stuff. So you could sit and watch the rest of the video if you really want to, but if you don't want to, I totally understand. So okay, so those of you who are updating to a newer from an older version of MayaStar to MayaStar 7.1, this is what you need to know. Okay, first, you're going to want to uninstall MayaStar, the older versions, on all the different versions of Maya that you want to update 7.1 to. All you have to do is go to your documents, Maya, the year that you're going to want to install MayaStar 7.1 on. Go to into your scripts folder and look for a little red icon. If you look very closely, it says MayaStar. It'll say unins, and then sometimes the numbers might be different. And then just double click on that and follow the instructions, and that will uninstall MayaStar for you. It will, at the end of the uninstall process, it will tell you to go into the user setup mail, and you're going to open it up with in Notepad or WordPad, and you're going to want to look for this one line of code right here, source MayaStar menu.mel. You want to highlight that and delete it and then save. Now, the reason the uninstall process can't do that, well, one, it can't edit a file like that. The reason we just don't delete the user setup mail is if you're using a third-party plugin, and other third-party plugins might be also using the user setup mail, and they'll have their own lines of code in here. That's why I say you look for this particular line of code. So we don't just delete the user setup mail, because that would really mess up your other third-party plugins that might be using this user setup mail as well. So you just need to go in there and delete that one line, save the user setup mail, and you're done. Okay. And then you just run the installation process just like we showed just at the very beginning of this video. It just takes a couple of minutes. So if that's all you want to know, you're good to go. If you're if you're updating to a newer version of MayaStar from an older version of MayaStar, if you're updating to 7.1, if that's all you want to know, you're good to go. You can stop the video and you know what you need to do in order to update. If you want to hang around a little bit longer, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail as to, MayaStar is no longer installed in the scripts folder anymore. That's why you're not seeing a whole bunch of files here. And we're using the Maya environmental file to point to where it is actually installed. So here we have two lines of code. Actually, they're duplicates. You can see here. That's because I ran the installer more than once. And is it okay if you do that? It's okay if these have two duplicate lines of code. They're not going to hurt anything. You could delete the extra duplicate lines if you really want to, but you don't necessarily have to. So, okay, so this is telling you where MayaStar is now installed. It's installed on your programs file, MayaStar 7 folder, and then 2014 through 2020 folder. That's where all the MayaStar files are now located. This is for the Mel scripts, this line of code, and this here is for the Python scripts. And it's just telling Maya, when you start Maya 2020, to look here for those files. So that's what it's telling you. So now I'm going to show you those files here in just a second. Let me pause the video and go over those files. Hold on. Okay, so here we are inside, your C drive program files, MayaStar 7. And you can see there's 2014 through 2020, and there's all the regular MayaStar files, including there's a user setup mel in here as well that has that line of code in it already. So that's how now we don't ever have to worry about the user setup mel. And so if we go here, now these are for, okay, so these others are for Maya 2022, Maya 2023, Maya 2024, Maya 2025. This one only installs, this installer that we just did, this only installs this one folder right here. And now if we go to the MayaStar folder here, these are the ones, this is the uninstall for the one that we just did. Okay, I'd already installed 2022 through 2025, which is one single installer, and I did that in a video that I made just a minute ago, and so that's the uninstaller for that one. And then this is the uninstaller for the one that we just did, which is 2014 through 2022. Okay, so say you had installed it for you only had Maya 2014 installed, and then later you got Maya 2020. Now, you won't have to, you could do two things. You could either run the installer again, and this time navigate to 2020 or 2014, the new version of Maya that you just installed, and just run through the install process like normal. All that's going to happen is that the one that you'll end up with double duplicate lines in the Maya environmental from the previous installation, which, like I said, it won't hurt anything. You don't have to worry about it. Now let me pause it, and I want to go back here for a second. Okay, so let's say now we're back in just the regular documents Maya. Now let's say I had an older version of Maya 2014 installed, and I got 2020, and I installed 2020. You could do two things. Like I said, you could either just run the installer a second time, or what you could do is after you install Maya 2020 is open up the Maya environmental. Here I just opened it up in Notepad, and if it was blank, you know, like I said, this is for the scenario where you had installed it MayaStar 7.1 originally for Maya 2014. Then later you got Maya 2020 and you installed Maya 2020. All you'd have to do is, like I said, go into the Maya 2020, open up the Maya environmental, which will be blank, and then just add these two lines of code. You see, you would just add these two lines of code. They're exactly the same. So you would just add these two. And then you don't have to run the installer a second time. It's up to you. Totally up to you which way you'd rather do it. Like I said, if it ends up with 2014 having duplicate lines of code, it's not going to hurt anything. So, but anyway, just thought I'd put that out there. You know, just wanted to let you know where everything is saved, where all the uninstall things are, and that you now know that we're using the Maya environmental. We're not using the scripts folder anymore to install or to locate or save our MayaStar files to. It's now in the program files MayaStar 7 folder, and then the years 2014 through 2020 for older versions, and then newer versions all have their own folder. So this should also make updating easier in the future. And so now when you run the uninstall for 7.1, it is going to say, you know, just so that you know, you need to open up the Maya environmental and delete those lines of code. You know, that's a good idea to do that. I don't know what would happen if those folders weren't actually there, if you didn't delete these lines of code. I don't know if it'd cause an error or not when you start up Maya the next time. So it's just always good practice to get rid of these, to get rid of the lines of code and save the Maya environmental. And we don't delete the Maya environmental for the same reasons we didn't delete the user setup now, because other third-party plugins might be making use of the Maya environmental file. So that's why we just don't delete the Maya environmental file. And so anyway, that's it. It's pretty simple. Hopefully moving forward, updating and will be so much easier than it currently is. This is just a little bit more complicated because we're in a transitional period. and so it's just a little bit more complicated to update from an older version of MayaStar to a newer version, or to 7.1. But hopefully then moving on forward after that, updating will be so much easier. You just run the installer and you're done. Hopefully hopefully that's all you'll have to do, is just run the installer. Super quick and easy. And so anyway, alrighty, well, that's it. You have a great day, and we'll see you in the next video.